Welcome, everyone, to yet another episode of Starspace Chats. I'm your host, Jeff Yenzer, Secretary of the Board here at StarSpace46, and I'd like to welcome you all again to what will be another interview with someone here in the Oklahoma City and StarSpace46 community that we want you to know a little bit more about. So I will be bringing on my friend Brett Dickerson, who is the owner and the force behind Oklahoma City Free Press, who really is that bastion of what I like to call journalistic integrity here in the OKC Metro. I went to college for communications, so that's a big thing for me. So it's really great to be able to host and talk to a very long-time member, all the way going back to the 404, which he'll probably tell you about. But man, I mean, this guy's seen some stuff, done some stuff, and changed even more. So I can't wait to bring on my friend Brett Dickerson.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks for those kind words.
Hey, I try. I don't have them for myself, but I sure have them for other people. So, Brett, if you could just kind of give people that don't know what you do, just a little bit of information about, what brought you to today, which is, the year of our Lord 2020.
Wow. Short version of that is born in Oklahoma, grew up at Piedmont when it was still a small farm community. Went to OCU undergrad, went to Emory University graduate school, came back, and I've been here in Oklahoma ever since. And most of that time has been in Oklahoma City. So I went to college in this city, drove a taxi cab one time between jobs in this city. So you really get to know a city a lot better when you drive a taxi cab. And that's not the whole city. You're not seeing everything. You're seeing a part of the city most people don't see. And so more than anything else, what you see as a taxi cab driver is not all this crazy stuff you see in the movies and stuff like that. It's people whose cars broke down trying to get to work. It's people that just can't afford a second car, and their husband or the wife has to have the only family car. Sometimes they have no car, so they usually ride the bus. But wait a minute, they missed the bus. Now they need a cab. That's the kind of stuff you see. So you see really a lot of life real life in the city, and by real life I mean people trying to make a living, trying to take care of their kids. Not all this other crap you see, sensational stuff. That's what you see when you're in the transportation business. That's what bus drivers see. I drove buses in the city of Atlanta when I was in graduate school there one summer as a summer job. So when you're in the transportation business, that's what you see. So a lot of my feel for this city comes from really seeing the core of the city, who, the people I call the core of the city, who are the hardworking people, the people who now we call essential workers. Right. Those are the people I know best. So that's really the group of people that Free Press writes our news for. You have a couple of legacy publications here in Oklahoma City. Legacy news publications do a great job of writing for the powerful people, and occasionally we have powerful people write to us and say, hey, I really appreciate that story. I didn't know that. Because even powerful people want to know what the rest of the city's thinking. And so that's us then. Even some powerful people sometimes will write to me and say, hey, thanks for that. And Mayor Holt and I kind of have a running little joke, but we both take it seriously. He's a real detail guy, and he catches every misspelling and punctuation problem or any kind of squishy sort of fact that we have in there that should be sharper about the city, which is what he ought to be doing. And so he's such a good-natured person. He doesn't do it angrily. And so we have kind of a little running joke now. He'll say, this is when he's about to tell me something that, he thinks I need to correct. He'll say, this is your volunteer copy editor, and so, if you have the mayor of Oklahoma City, he's a very sharp guy as your copy editor, that's pretty good.
Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all.
So yeah, so anyway, that's, I learned how to take that kind of criticism, I think, pretty well when I was an issues blogger, when I was still a teacher. I was a teacher for 16 years before I started doing this, and took early retirement to write more. And I was a freelancer, and I wanted to be in news, so I wrote for Red Dirt Report for a year. Wrote 78 stories for them, and 78 stories over 9 months for them, and then wrote for. Then I became kind of the news guy for the Oklahoma Gazette, which is, it's an alternative, mostly entertainment weekly, but they've always had hard news in that publication. So I wrote for them. Ben Felder, when he was on board over there as their full-time news guy, he talked to me about coming along and writing for them, and then he left shortly thereafter. So then I was left, as the only news guy for a while until Laura Eastis came along. So the Gazette's had a long history of really good news people over there, and I'm really proud of the time that I was kind of the second over there. I was the freelance second over there, which there's nothing wrong with that. So. And I ended up winning some education awards for a particular series that Jen Chancellor, the editor over there, allowed me to write, which freelancers usually not allowed to write series, but they allowed me.
Right.
I pitched this idea, and so they did that. So anyway, so I was there. So then I wrote for 405 magazine for a little while, some things with them. And, I had a great time. I'm very proud of that. I think 405 is a great, beautiful entertainment magazine. And, writing for print publications for a weekly, and then writing for a monthly magazine, which, for magazines, you've got to write months in advance. So, so the kind of immediate world that I'm in now of online local news is pretty different, really, than a lot of that news. I was always kind of frustrated because you had to watch some news go by because you just don't have the time to get it turned around for your publication, even in the case of a weekly. So sometimes just being able, just way late at night to go, I got to hammer this out. I get this thing out. That kind of meets some pent up, frustration I had working for them. Not because of their fault. It wasn't their fault. It's just the nature of what it was. So,
right.
Anyway.
So what brought you to where you are with Free Press as it stands today? Like, where was the bridge there that took you from very much a freelance sort of world working with and for others to really wanting to pioneer and go and do that yourself?
Well, I never want to be seen slamming other publications. Really, I just don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it makes any real difference, really. So let's just say that I saw a lack of metro coverage in the city at the time. There was niche coverage, from one of our legacy newspapers doing a great job of niche, business investor type coverage, and right. but the other big legacy publication actually canned their entire metro desk in 2016. Little known thing that happened. So and I don't want to come off sounding overly critical of that, because metro news is extremely expensive compared to the time that you spend sitting through city meetings, sitting through county meetings, writing up. And you can Marty Piercy, who just does a great job writing up meetings. He's kind of our meeting guy. He's just great at that. And Marty, really not just a few times, he spent literally 6 or 7 hours on an especially long city council meeting, to write something up that's going to read in about 3 to 5 minutes. So about 3 to 5, to sum up 7 hours in 3 to 5 minute read is a pretty amazing thing. And so, I'm very proud of Marty on that. I did that work before we got Marty on board, and I still have to fill in occasionally too, in addition to being an editor. But in a small publication, it's like all hands on deck, all in, kind of thing. And so we've been around since late fall, like December of 2016. And in 2018, I just went through a complete collapse and just went, okay, we're done. We thought we were going to move to Dallas anyway, closer to our grandkids. And then through a whole series of things, we decided, no, we need to stay in this city. And we bought a house here in Oklahoma City instead of Dallas. So then Lynn and Patton, a good friend of mine, great marketing guy, started getting with me and saying, Brett, we really need you back. We need this, we need Free Press back, And so we'd already been winning awards before I said, okay, I just can't do this anymore, because I just felt like I was at a dead end. So having somebody else coming back and saying, okay, let me help you with this. Lennon really helped us get the marketing together to come back then in May of 2019. So, and we came back just in time for those big day-long hearings at City Council with the City Council. This is unprecedented. The City Council for Maps 4 actually heard different groups come in and pitch to the council about who would be a part of Maps 4 and who wouldn't, which is unbelievable. It was just kind of, some powerful guys sitting around a table before, deciding those things. And this time, the City Council, and those became so long, trying to get so many people in, that the council just started eating right there at the Horseshoe, just eating a sandwich while this was going on, and get up and take turns going to the restroom and whatever, and just all day thing. Well, Marty covered all of those. We covered all of those. I photographed those, and Marty wrote those things up. And so that was our relaunch there. That was us coming, it's like, some guy walking into the public pool and throwing the towel down and jumping in the deep end, without even sitting down. So that was our coming back. And so we ended up winning. We've won awards every year that we've been out there. Oklahoma Education Association has given us awards for education coverage. And then the Society of Professional Journalists Oklahoma chapter, we've won awards with them every year that we've entered the contest, which has been the past 2 or 3 years. And so this year we got, for our 2019 coverage, we got best website. We got best website in this year's contest, and we also got first place in breaking news, where we were the ones that broke the news about the Jeff. I told you wrong about this. I wasn't remembering the right thing. This is the correct stuff here.
Go on. Yes, let's make sure.
First place. Right. It's a good thing we rehearsed this. First place for our breaking news of Seaworth Academy being in serious trouble. We're the ones that broke that. And then it just blew up statewide and even beyond the state, because Seaworth Academy had been around for a long time, had a great history. I had even written about them for Oklahoma Gazette, as kind of a glowing example of a great thing. Well, like some institutions, things started falling apart there. We caught wind of that. We got documents from the State Department of Education, saying, okay, you guys have had time to straighten this out. You haven't straightened it out. And so we got those documents, legitimately acquired those documents. We didn't steal them or anything. So we got those, and I immediately realized the value, that this is a big deal, because I'd already covered Seaworth Academy earlier on. We broke that story, and then we stayed on it too. So if you go to freepressokc.com and just type in Seaworth, Seeworth, you'll see our coverage there. So we got first place on that. We got third place for something that's really affected StarSpace over there, right over there, because and when Oklahoma Boulevard opened up over there, immediately traffic accidents started happening over there because they had a two-way stop, and people that pulled up there, especially from the StarSpace side of the boulevard over there, only a short block away. Oh, yeah. I think they thought that there was a four-way stop there or something, so they would just pull out and run into people there. So we saw that we caught one of those accidents and took pictures of it the first weekend. I carry my camera with me all the time. My wife teases me about bringing my camera to bed, and I assure her I don't. So that one there won third place in the state for Enterprise News for bringing that out, and so as a consequence of that coverage and our continued, it wasn't just that one story about that one accident. I actually came up on other accidents there, took pictures of those, and kept reporting that.
It was a constant stream of this. You had to watch it.
Yes, and it was terrifying because I'm just thinking we got to do something about this. Somebody's going to get not just hurt, not just the car torn up. Somebody's going to get hurt badly there. I don't think anyone ever was. Some people were taken to the hospital to be looked at, but mercifully there were no deaths there. And so the end of that story is that the city actually paid attention to that, and I think this is a gold star for the city here, because their projections, they told me, was that intersection there would not have that level of traffic for another 3 years. And so what we reported happening is what they thought was going to happen 3 years later. So they weren't even looking at that. They weren't even thinking about that until we brought it up. And somebody in the PIO's office at the Oklahoma City Police Department told me during that, they said, you know what, we've had people from other departments in the city calling us, checking on this, because this is a surprise to everybody. So they got some motorcycle officers out there to start, checking people's speed.
Right.
Coming along there, which helped. And then also they ended up putting the traffic light in 3 years earlier than they originally.
No, I was one of those people talking with city officials that were coming through StarSpace and being dismissed with my ideas that there was so much more day-to-day traffic than they realized, because I got to watch it from the window every single day. And they just didn't want to listen to it until that story broke. And that really changed a lot and has made it much nicer for us personally at StarSpace. So we thank you for that, but we also just thank you for, so many instances of just awesome journalism here in the city. So I want to know what's next. Like, what's that next step in this entrepreneurial journey for Oklahoma City Free Press?
Well, always any small news publication is always looking for more funding, and we've had some very loyal contributors from the very beginning. I've always given people an opportunity to contribute money or to write to me or to check in with me. I'm active on Twitter, so there are a lot of different ways that people can contribute. Now we have, in addition to our page on Facebook, we also have a private group for people that want to really, respond and give some feedback on our stories and other things we're doing. So, but financial contributions is how we will be able to, to fairly pay freelancers to come on board and help us out. So, I can't do everything. There are some, publisher level things that I should be doing, and I just can't do right now because I'm still reporting. I'm still one of the reporters.
Right.
So, and then I have to edit things that George Lang, our opinion writer, who does an amazing job of writing opinions, He's actually a professional film critic, like a professional film. He like belongs to these several associations and stuff. I used to read his reviews when I used to work for the Oklahoman years ago, and so we're really fortunate to have George on board writing opinion for us, and we wanted to pay somebody who's really good at opinion, and who's better at opinion work than a film critic, right? So George was really interested in that, and so he's been doing a great job, and that is our official opinion of Free Press, is when George does that. He and I work together on the idea, on the concept, and then he does it, and then I edit it. So it isn't me saying, oh yeah, we just got this guy named George to come in here and write something, and we don't really, that's typically the way publications do. Most publications do opinion now.
Right.
Is to just invite anybody to write anything in. And if somebody says, hey, that's crazy, they go, hey, yeah, we just have this open, and content. Yeah, I don't know, and so I don't think any news publication ought to be doing that. Frankly, I just don't. I think they're just copping out, and if you're going to run opinion, you need to be very intentional about it. You need to keep that clearly separate from your reporting.
Yeah.
And so instead of me writing an editorial, we're having George doing the opinion work, because I'm still out there doing reporting and photography and stuff. And so we don't want to mix up my byline with opinion and reporting. So
no, and that's, as somebody who took just enough journalism classes to be dangerous, I appreciate that. Just looking at it from that scope and that framework of having that separation between what is fact and what is opinion, especially in this day and age, in the world we're currently living in. I think that is so important and so integral to successful news publication. So thank you all for doing it.
Well, let me just kind of launch off of that and say that we don't run sponsored content. That's where Jeff Yenzer pays me to let you write basically something that looks like a news story, but it's really pitching whatever you're selling, and then I run it, and it looks like a news story when you look at it. One particular legacy publication in this city, I think, has done great harm to their credibility by running that kind of content. And so you can make a lot of money doing that. I get pitches every week. We have a general email at the bottom of our home page that says, hey, just write to us about anything. Man, I get pitches every week for sponsored content, really for some big money. We've worked so hard for our credibility. We're just not going to give that up. We're not. We're not going broke. We're not going under because of you loyal readers that help us out like that. And then I do all this work for free.
Right.
And so I don't take any money for it right now. I don't think I ever will. And so because every penny we get needs to be going out to our freelancers anyway. They need that money. And so, so there we go.
So to kind of dovetail off, as one final point, you talked about the loyal readers. So let's talk to the loyal readers and also those people that might be future loyal readers.
Yeah.
I always like to ask, what can StarSpace46 as a community and the community on a whole, whether you're listening to this and you're in OKC or broader out there, or maybe you're just in a part of OKC, what can they do to help Oklahoma City Free Press right now?
First of all, Jeff and other partners of StarSpace, thank you for the years of allowing me to kind of use first the 404 and now StarSpace as just kind of home base. 2:00 in the morning, you can't find very many places to sit down quickly and write a story. I can come into StarSpace and do that. So thank you all for your support, for your interest, for even doing this today. Thank you for that. So what we need right now are partners, our business partners either quiet business partners who don't want to run advertising because they're afraid that we look a little too liberal. I'm telling you, anybody that does Metro News is going to look liberal because you're going to be out there. You're going to be out there reporting stuff that people don't want out, that powerful people don't want out there.
News is news.
So the way in Oklahoma you deal with that is accuse somebody of being a liberal, and so that's it's kind of gritty. It's at street level. So some people, if you're a business person who likes free press or you like what we're doing, you can just give quietly, contribute quietly to us, or we can work on some advertising for you as well. So we need funding. We need to move forward on that. We're about as far as we can go right now with the kind of funding we have right now.
Okay.
The first goal is independence, though, and so if that's your number one goal, and then credibility, then funding doesn't always come along with that very well.
Sure.
So it's a pretty big person character-wise who can own a business and give you a lot of money and let you be independent. I mean, that's really something. So that's what we need. That's what we need right now.
Excellent. Well, Brett, thank you so much for joining me. It is always a pleasure just sitting down and talking with you, be it via video or just side by side. You're just a hoot to talk about and talk to. You're good people, and I do appreciate you.
Thanks.
I would tell anyone listening to this right now, use Oklahoma City Free Press. The website's been popping up randomly. Go there and really get your news from the source, the people on the street, while there are still people on the street, which you're looking at the guy on the street right there. That's what he looks like. That silver mane will always be prevalent and noticeable. So, thank you, Brett. I truly do appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Take care. Have a wonderful day. As per normal, thank you to Brett, but also thank you all for listening and watching StarSpace Chats. Please share this with your friends and check out our social media using the landing page, StarSpace46.com. That's going to be able to branch you off to all of the social media. It's also going to branch you off to, if you ever want one of these nice jackets, to merch46.com. So we try to have our branding on point and something that can be created by both the ownership team at StarSpace, but also our community on a whole, because we do have a lot of artists and creatives here. Speaking of, if you would like to join us, we are now starting free co-working Wednesdays. It is Wednesday as we record this right now. So anyone that would like to join us is free to RSVP using our meetup link. And as long as you do that, you're welcome to join us on a Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come in, do some organic networking, and actually have some genuine interaction with people. Even despite the state of the world that we're in, it could really grow your business. It grew mine overnight. So thank you so much, and we will see you next time. I've been Jeff Yenzer, and it will be a pleasure to sit with you again. Take care.